welcome to my channel. I'm Anne and today I'm going to be bringing you a very fun spooky TBR. So it is almost spooky season and I'm very excited for this, even though we're moving into the month of spring here in New Zealand and in the southern hemisphere. I still like to get into the spooky vibes. So I have a list of books here with me that I want to talk through and kind of get excited for and feel excited to read. So the first book that I've heard is great for the spooky season and has this gothic atmospheric sort of vibe is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. So I've heard really great things about Rachel Gillick and I'm so excited. I honestly don't know much about this. All I know is that it's a fantasy and it has something to do with tarot magic. That's all I know. So Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her. He keeps her secrets. But nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, she is thrust into a world of shadow and deception. Together they embark on a dangerous quest to cure the town of Blunder from the dark magic infecting it. As the stakes heighten and their undeniable attraction intensifies, Elspeth is forced to face her darkest secret yet. The nightmare is slowly, darkly taking over her mind, and she might not be able to stop it. It sounds really good and really interesting, and I've heard really great things about it, so I am very... Oh my gosh, something's just spilled on my book, even though it's been on my bookshelf this whole time. That's so strange. That's frustrating. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so we've got One Dark Window on this TBR. The next one that I am hoping to get to is a classic and one that I've been very scared to read, but I'm pretty sure I read this as a child or like younger teenager and I don't really remember much of it, but we've got Dracula. I don't think I need to talk about this much. Jonathan Harker makes a terrifying discovery in Count Dracula's castle and is soon plunged into a nightmare. So what I know about this is it's written in letter format, which is great for mixed media. So I've heard amazing things about this and I think I've read this as a young teenager, but I honestly don't know. I love vampire stories, so why not read the original vampire story? So yeah, the next one that I think is a thriller / horror is Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Braithwaite. I got sent this by the publisher Alan and Owen. Here's a massive thank you to them, and I was really intrigued by this. I've read from Oyinkan Braithwaite before. I read My Sister the Serial Killer and I had a good time with that one, so I'm definitely intrigued by this one. No man will call your houses home, and if they try, they will not have peace. So goes the family curse handed down from generation to generation, ruining families and breaking hearts as it goes. And now it's calm, rational Inye's turn, who due to her uncanny resemblance to her dead aunt Monif and her family's insistence that she must be a reincarnation, has long been used to some strange familial beliefs. Still, when she falls in love with the handsome boy she saves from drowning, she can no longer run from her family's history. Is she destined to live out the habitual story of love and heartbreak, or can she escape the family curse and the mysterious fate that befell her aunt? It doesn't really tell me if it's a horror / thriller, and I'm kind of hoping it is, but we shall see. If it's not, I don't know, but it sounds kind of fun with curses and all that kind of thing, so I'm very intrigued with that one. Another one that I want to check out is You've Lost a Lot of Blood by Eric LaRocca. I've read an Eric LaRocca before and I wasn't the biggest fan, unfortunately, but I do want to give him another chance because I've heard so many great things about him. So this I think was his debut. From 2022, a disturbing new vision of horror from the author of The Things We've Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. So no, so this isn't his first one, but it doesn't give me a synopsis about it, so I have no idea what this is about, but it's a horror and the cover is actually terrifying, so I'm very intrigued to see what that one's about. There's no synopsis, so I can't give you anything. Another one that I've just decided to pick up is on a recommendation from Kayla or Books and Lala, but this is a horror anthology that has a lot, 35 Tales of Terror. She read this recently and I was very, very intrigued by it. So not all monsters are fantasy. Some are very real and they walk among us. There are friends, family, neighbors and co-workers. They're the people we're supposed to trust and they know it. Contained with this anthology are 35 never before published works by supremely talented authors and best-selling novelists. Brace yourself for the unexpected and unimaginable horror of human monsters. There is a lot of authors in here. Nat Cassidy, Caroline Kepnes, Josh Mallerman, Cynthia Paleo, and some other ones that I recognize, so I'm very intrigued by that. And yeah, I've heard great things from Books of Lala. It's on KU, so I thought I would pick it up. Then we have another one that was gifted to me by the publisher Allen and Unwin, is Strange Houses by Yuketsu. So I heard about this from Jan Agaton, and I heard that she read Strange Pictures and really, really enjoyed it. So I don't really know much about this, but it has diagrams throughout it. It's very mixed media. And it's just about a strange house, I think. So a sinister hidden room, a dead space between two walls, a sealed cellar, a child's face glimpsed out a window. Every house hides secrets, but some secrets are far darker than others. More than 1 million readers have discovered the terrible truth behind these strange houses. Now it's your turn. So this is a Japanese mystery sensation and it is translated from Japanese, so I'm very, very intrigued to get into this one. I've heard some really good things. My friend also got it from Allen and Unwin and she's loved it and gave it 5 stars. Another one that I want to check out is Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. I've heard really good things about this author and I'm very, very intrigued. This is a story of 3 best friends. One who was murdered, one who went to prison, and one who's been searching for the truth all these years. When she was 16 years old, Angela Wong, one of the most popular girls in school, disappeared without a trace. Nobody ever suspected that her best friend, Georgina Shaw, now an executive and rising star at her Seattle pharmaceutical company, was involved in any way. Certainly not Kaiser Brody, who was close to with both girls back in high school. 14 years later, Angela Wong's remains are discovered in the woods near Gio's childhood home, and Kaiser, now a detective with Seattle PD, finally learns the truth. Angela was a victim of Calvin James, the same Calvin James who murdered at least 3 other women. To the authorities, Calvin is a serial killer, but to Gio, he's something else entirely. Back in high school, Calvin was Gio's first love. Turbulent and often volatile, the relationship bordered on obsession from the moment they met right up until the night Angela was killed. For 14 years, Gio knew what had happened to Angela and told no one. For 14 years, she carried the secret of Angela's death until Gio was arrested and sent to prison. While everyone thinks they finally know the truth, there are secrets buried deep. And what happened that fateful night is more complex and more chilling than anyone really knows. Now the obsessive past catches up with the deadly present when new bodies begin to turn up, killed in the exact same manner as Angela Wong. How far will someone go to bury their secrets and hide her grief? How long can you get away with a lie? How long can you live with it? Sounds interesting and I'm very, very intrigued. One that I am also very nervous about but heard great things about, and it's gothic and atmospheric, and it is a classic that everyone recommends reading for spooky season, and that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is kind of a whirlwind romance in Monte Carlo with a handsome widower. The naive young bride arrives at her husband's isolated Cornish estate in Manderley. A change comes over Max and the friendless woman becomes to realise that her husband is a little more than a stranger. And in every corner of every room is the phantom of his beautiful first wife, Rebecca, her memory kept alive by the sinister housekeeper, Mrs. Danver. I've heard great things about this and I'm very intrigued to get to this one, so hopefully I can get to this at some point in the spooky season. Another one that I want to check out is Chlorine by Jade Song. This is another one from recommendation from Books and Lala. All I know about this is it's a young girl who believes she's a mermaid and tries to do whatever she can to become a mermaid. So Ren Yu is a swimmer. Her daily life starts and ends with the pool. Her teammates are her only friends, her coach, her guiding light. If she swims well enough, she will be scouted, get a scholarship, and go to a good school. Her parents will love her, her coach will be kind to her, she will have a good life. But these are human concerns. Those are concerns of those confined to land, those with legs. Ren grew up on stories of creatures of the deep, of the oceans and the rivers, one that called sailors to their doom, ones that dragged them down and drowned them, ones that feasted on their flesh, ones of the creature that she's always longed to become, mermaid. Ren aches to be in the water. She dreams of a scent of chlorine, the feel of it on her skin, and she will do anything she can to make it a life for herself, where she can be free, no matter the pain, no matter what anyone else thinks, no matter how much blood she has to spill. It sounds so freaking good, and it's also on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm very, very excited about that one. So the last one that I want to talk about that I don't physically own, I do have one more here beside me, is Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. I've heard great things about this. This is a sapphic romance for fans of S.T. Gibson's A Dowry of Blood. So I loved A Dowry of Blood, so I'm very, very excited. For what do you hunger? Lenore. Lenore is the wife of steel magnate Henry, but 10 years into their marriage, the relationship has soured and no child has arrived to fill the distance growing between them. Henry's ambitions take them out to London and to the opposing Nethershall Manor in the countryside, where Henry aims to host a hunt with society's finest. Lenore keeps a terrible secret from the last time her husband hunted, and though they never speak of it, it haunts their marriage to this day. The preparations for the event take a turn when a carriage accident near their remote home brings the mysterious Carmilla into Lenore's life. Carmilla, who is weak and pale during the day, but vibrant at night. Carmilla, who stirs up a hunger deep within Lenore. Soon girls from local villages begin to fall sick before being consumed by a bloody hunger. Torn between regaining her husband's affection and Carmilla's ever-growing presence, Lenore begins to unravel her past, and in doing so uncovers a darkness in her household that will place her at terrible risk. I'm so excited for this one. It's sapphic, it's vampires, and I cannot wait. And one more that is a little bit different to everything else that's on this one. This is a dark romance, and it's called Skin of a Sinner by Avina St. Graves. Brie has been talking about this. One of my best friends has been talking about Avina St. Graves for so long, and I came across this indie copy that is signed being sold on Facebook, so I had to pick it up. But this is a dark romance, and this is about a second chance romance. So no one tells you what to do when the boy who shattered your heart comes back to steal it. Roman Riviera was my everything once upon a time. I found my knight in shining armour in the form of a fellow foster kid. He protected me and promised to stand by my side forever. But Roman Riviera is a liar. He left me with monsters. 3 years later, I found him in the middle of the night, soaked in my family's blood and carving his initials into my foster brother's skin. He tied me up and dragged me away from the life I had made without him. I tried to run, but he chased me. I wanted to scream, but the sound never came out. He says that I'm never getting away from him. He says he's back for good. I don't believe him. So excited. I'm needing more dark romance in my life, and I cannot wait. So from the looks of kind of going through, it kind of goes back and forth between the past and present and kind of understanding why he's left and everything. And I'm just so excited. So these are all the books, including a couple of the ebooks that I was talking about, or audiobooks that I might pick up, that I'm hoping to get to at some point this spooky season. So I hope you have a great spooky season. I hope you have some great spooky reads on the TBR coming up for this spooky season. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like. Comment down below what you're going to be reading for the spooky season, or if you've read any of these books, and tell me if you enjoyed them, and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Bye.